Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. You know, I've wanted to add some chamber music to this series, but it's really quite difficult. It's difficult not because there are too few greatest recordings ever in chamber music, but because there are too many. And because it's a subset of a subset of a subset in terms of its audience, generally speaking, it's really, really hard to focus in on one that I think most of us would agree is one of the greatest recordings ever, or we'd all agree, but there are also a dozen others just like it. You know what I mean? The whole point of the greatest recordings ever is to talk about their specialness. And when it comes to chamber music, I mean, string quartets, whenever, everyone's doing the same repertoire, basically. And they're great. I mean, the standard of performance is so high, and there's so many special and wonderful records to choose from. I mean, you could just get lost in it. You really could. However, there are a few that I think I can deal with. I mean, solo music, by the way, is a different thing. When you're dealing with one person, like a pianist, it's a whole different kettle of beans. But for these small ensembles, oh, wow. I've had to give this a lot of thought, and I have found one. There are more. I mean, like I said, there are lots more, but I have found one that achieves what I think is the greatest ever rubric, not just in terms of excellence of performance and sonics and all that, but also in terms of the uniqueness of the program, of the album as an entire conception. And it is this. It's the Franck Violin Sonata coupled to Szymanowski's Myths and his other works for violin and piano, featuring Krystian Zimerman and Kaja Danczowska, who's just an amazing violinist, not nearly as well known as she deserves to be. It's on Deutsche Grammophon. And when this came out, this is one of these things where, everybody's like, oh gosh, okay, it's another Franck Violin Sonata. But when this thing came out, people just went, wow. Whew. That was it. It was special. It was really, really special. First of all, there's the Franck. Now, everyone in the universe plays the Franck Violin Sonata endlessly. It's incredibly popular, and deservedly so. I mean, it's one of a handful of truly amazing, outstanding works for violin and piano, and every single violinist plays it. So there are a bazillion recordings of it, and many of them are excellent. I mean, Martha Argerich has made sort of a career of doing the piano part. She's played the violin version, the flute version, the cello version. It's really one of those iconic works. So sure, there are going to be great, great recordings of the Franck, and this is certainly one of them. Particularly, one of the things about the Franck Violin Sonata that's so wonderful about it is how, it's in cyclical form like everything he wrote, but it's how the chromatic turbulence of the opening movement is resolved in the most simple, sweet, melodically pure way in the finale. It's almost a children's song. It has such innocence, and so it's an amazing emotional progress, as well as being just fabulous violin sonata. But it really does something as a chamber work that most other pieces don't do. It has an emotional progression that's incredibly clear and really, really special. So there's that. And these performers realize it so well. The finale has such simplicity and purity of expression. There's no futzing around with it at all. It just all unfolds. It's really, really gorgeous. But the Szymanowski, that's what makes this special. Because I'd never heard of this work until this thing came out. I never heard of Szymanowski's Myths. This was recorded in 1981, oh my goodness, what an incredible piece it is! It's really a series of 3 tone poems for violin and piano on Greek subjects. They are the Fountain of Arethusa, the Fontaine d'Arethusa, and then Narcissus, and Dryad et Pan, Dryads and Pan. And wow, I mean, the idea of doing this just for violin and piano, but the textures are so lush and exotic. It's also very, very chromatic, and it evolves naturally out of Franck's language, who was sort of evolving out of Wagner's language in Tristan and Isolde, but that's what it does. So it's a modern work. It's not an easy piece in a sense, but it fits perfectly with the Franck Violin Sonata in a way that was just wholly, wholly unexpected. Then you get two other arrangements of things for violin and piano here. Roxana's song from the opera King Roger, which is also wonderful, and the Kurpish song. It's a Polish folk tune arrangement. These were transcribed for violin and piano. They're originally piano pieces only, by Paweł Kochanski, the great Polish violinist for whom Szymanowski wrote his violin concertos. So, this is just an amazing disc. It's a unique disc. And that's what really makes it one of the greatest recordings ever. And it's just enormously, incredibly out of print for some reason right now. I don't know if you can find it. You can stream it, that I'm sure. But physical product, forget about it. This is actually the Galleria mid-price reissue right here that I had down in the overflow room. I have the other one is up here somewhere. Find it. But gosh, what a great record this is. I mean, it's just incredible. So, if you're looking for one of the greatest recordings ever in the chamber music universe, get this if you don't already have it. That'll give you a start. And I'll find some more. I mean, I'll come up with more when I think about it a little bit better. But wow, there's just so much good stuff. Too much good stuff. I don't know when we have time to listen to all of it. But we'll keep on listening anyway, won't we? Thank you for joining me. Take care.